AITA for being disrespectful and telling my parents good luck with that when they tried to ground me. Story 1. I live at home while going to university. I'm in my final year and I have a job lined up after I graduate. My parents have been charging me rent since I was 16. I have a small company that makes me about $60,000 a year. I started it in high school. It is one of the reasons I graduated early from high school and why I got attention from recruiters. My parents said that since I was earning adult money, I could take in adult responsibilities. I thought that was fair. So I paid for all my own stuff starting at age 16. Not university. I got a scholarship, and the rent they charged me was minor, $300 a month. But I basically considered my room to be completely mine after that. I kept it tidy because I like it that way. But they had no say in when I cleaned it. When I did my laundry, other than to not do it at a time when I would disturb the family, for example, 3 a.m. I bought food for myself and I ate when I wanted. They tried to say I was separating myself from the family, but I saw it more as having my own schedule. This year for spring break, I went down to Mexico with friends. My parents were upset because they were hosting a big Easter family get-together. When I got back, they said I was behaving badly by not being around for a family gathering. I said it was my last spring break in university and that I was not responsible for their schedule. They said I was grounded, and I laughed and said good luck with that. I went to my room and locked the door. They tried banging on it for my attention, but I'm done. My grandfather came over to talk to me later. He is the one who helped me get my company started, and he is always there for me. He said that I was rude to my parents when they were trying to be there for me. I asked him how much rent he charged my mom when she lived at home. He said it was ridiculous to think he would charge his kids rent. I told him that I had been paying rent for 4 years. He went into the house and I heard a fight. When he came out, he said that I need to treat my parents with more respect, but that since they are my landlords, they do not have a say over how I spend my time. I'm avoiding my parents for now, and I'm renting on Airbnb right now until I graduate. I took everything that was important to me, and I left $600 for the last 2 months I had planned on being there. They keep calling me, but I am currently getting ready to move for my new job. I don't have the energy to deal with them. Our advice. Based on your situation, it sounds like you've been handling a lot of responsibilities independently for quite some time. While it's important to maintain respect and communication with your parents, it's understandable that you value your autonomy. Moving out to focus on your new job and managing your own schedule seems like a practical step. Just remember to keep the lines of communication open and try to address any underlying issues with your family when you're ready. Balancing independence with family dynamics can be challenging, but prioritizing your well-being and career goals is crucial. First comment. While I feel like we're probably missing out on some general additional context about the family dynamics overall, charging rent to your 16-year-old kid is crazy to me and says a lot about the situation. My parents would have my brothers and I contribute a small amount monthly if we weren't actively in school and were at home after high school. That is, which we all thought was fair, so it worked. But even then, we didn't think of ourselves as tenants. We were just doing a little bit to help the family while being offered help from the family, because we all collectively felt the same way. Having their cake and eating it too is right. It sounds like the parents want to get something out of their kid who is independently succeeding early while also having control over them, while also not offering the kind of unconditional family support that most parents expect to offer their kids. If the parents here really valued the idea of having their kids be part of the family, they ought to be doing more to promote an actual welcoming family dynamic. If they want kids to participate, if the environment is right, the kids will also want to participate. That's what my family was like. We all had enough space to ourselves, but we still wanted to spend time together for family meals, other outings and so on, even living at home as early 20s adults going to school or working. Second comment. NTA. I know people don't like other people talking about their family, but, respectfully, your parents are idiots at best and selfish assholes at worst. They want you to line their pockets for living in the house they forced you to live in. And after you agree, because what the hell else are you supposed to do, they still want to maintain control over your life. They should be nurturing your success and encouraging you to pour every dime back into the company. Instead, they decided to leech off of you after bringing you into the world without your permission. Unless they really needed your $300 a month to make ends meet, and even then they should be trying to repay you at some point, I would tell them they revoked their parental dominance over your life the second they demanded you pay to live at home. Deeply selfish behavior. I'm so sorry for you. Story 2. AITA for being honest and telling my daughter that her wedding is a running joke of what not to do if you marry in our family friend group. My daughter got married about a year ago. She spent about $20,000 on her wedding. It was a wonderful experience for her, but for all the guests it really sucked. All the money went to things the couple would enjoy. The reasons it sucked for the guest was due to multiple factors, The biggest ones being that guest has to buy food, drinks, and no entertainment, so people get to the wedding and the ceremony happens. Then they go put into another room after a long day of driving out, don't get any food drink. Most of them were forced to buy overpriced food since they were starving. They didn't even get any cake since the cake was a fake. Overall, not a good guest experience. Afterwards, it was negatively talked about and people were actually quite mad about it. My other daughter is getting married and asked for my help. Her sister offered to help, and my other daughter made it clear she doesn't want her wedding to be anything like hers. My daughter asked what she meant by that, and I was honest with her. That her wedding wasn't a good experience for guests, and it is a running joke at this point with family friends. I thought she already knew since a lot of people hated her wedding. This caused an argument, and she called me a jerk by the end. I pointed out all the issues had with her wedding, and she thinks I am being cruel. Edit: the money basically went to her dress, venue, and photos. I know her dress was $6,000. The venue was pricey, and she didn't get the food package. I was not part of the wedding planning. I was having medical issues. Our advice. It sounds like you were trying to be honest with your daughter, but the delivery might have come across as hurtful. Here are some thoughts on the situation. Timing and approach. While honesty can be valuable, it's important to consider the timing and approach when discussing sensitive topics like this. Bringing up the shortcomings of her wedding after a year, especially when she's helping plan another wedding, might have felt like a sudden and unwelcome critique. Acknowledging feelings. Your daughter's wedding was likely a significant event for her, and she probably has fond memories despite the guest experience issues. Acknowledging her feelings and the positive aspects of her day before discussing the negatives could have softened the conversation. Constructive criticism. If you want to provide feedback, try framing it in a more constructive way. Instead of focusing solely on what went wrong, you could highlight areas where improvements could be made for her sister's wedding without directly criticizing hers. Support and understanding. Planning a wedding can be stressful, and your daughter may have had her reasons for the choices she made. Showing support and understanding her perspective, even if you disagree, can help keep the conversation respectful. Moving forward, apologize for any unintended hurt feelings caused by your comments. Express that you were trying to help based on feedback you heard, but recognize that it might not have been the best way to approach the topic. Emphasize your desire to support her and her sister in planning their respective weddings. Ultimately, the goal should be to repair the relationship and support your daughters as they plan their weddings. It's natural for family members to have differing opinions, but finding common ground and maintaining open communication can help navigate these situations more effectively. First comment. NTA: if you're going to make guests attend all day, feed them, give them drinks, make sure there's some entertainment. If it's just quick in and out, then it's fair to say everyone pays for their meal at designated restaurant. But there needs to be a plan. Sounds like daughter 1 didn't have a plan at all, and daughter 2 learned from her mistakes, because you know what they say about repeating the same mistake but expecting different results. Second comment. Second comment. This what happens when people get too invested in the "it's your day" and couple's day. Couples way like it or not. Your reception is a party to thank your guests for coming to the wedding, and some kind of food and drink is mandatory. If you can't afford to provide a meal, have an afternoon wedding 2 p.m. where all you have to provide is some snacks, e.g. veggie tray, cheese tray, finger sandwiches, etc., punch soda, and cake. Have your wedding when people won't be expecting substantial food. When you instead choose to spend all your money on your dress and flowers, you are treating your guests like props, not guests. NTA. They